Alright guys, coming to you here with my second haul. This is my February haul. It's a very small haul, however, it's pretty impressive for the three books that I got. Here we have Superman's Pal, Jimmy Olsen, number 134, graded 8.0, signed by Neil Adams. It's the first cameo appearance at Darkseid. It's a book that I've wanted for a long time. Finally shelled out the money because I figured it's just going to keep going up. It's like I said, it's an amazing cover. I love Neil Adams. He's one of my favorite artists. I'm also a huge fan of the Teen Titans. I'm trying to collect pretty much all their main first appearances. Hopefully I'll someday get Kid Flash. That one's pretty expensive as well, but I hope to get that at some point. So this is the first book I got. Very excited to have this in my collection. The second book I got is Brave and the Bold, number 60. And that is the first appearance of Wonder Girl from the Teen Titans. It's graded 5.0. I got a pretty good price on this. I'm surprised it was pretty cheap. And it is only a 5.0, but it is also a black cover, which is always harder to get in nicer conditions. And, it is from 1965, so definitely harder to find in a top-tier condition book. Here is Adventure Comics number 269, graded 5.5. It's from 1960. It's the first appearance of Aqualad. Really wanted to get this one for a long time. It's got a little bit of a chunk on the cover right there is the biggest flaw with it, but the rest of the cover and the center is all pretty nice. Some of the top has got some dings, but the biggest issue is there on the left side of the corner there. But again, it was another one of the key characters to the Teen Titans, who I'm trying to get all the major characters for in my collection. I figured I'd show you a few more Teen Titan related books since this is all I got for February. So these are some books that I've had for a while. This one here I got for Christmas. My wife got me this book. It's obviously the first appearance of some of the key Teen Titans. First appearance of Raven, Cyborg, and Starfire. It's DC Comics Presents number 26. For a 1980s book, it's pretty expensive. I mean, they're pretty easy to find. But the Teen Titans are pretty popular now. There's talk of that TV show, which I'm not sure. I think that might have fallen through. But I still think they're excellent characters. It's something that I think will eventually be in a movie or TV deal. But, one thing I want to tell you guys about collecting comics, and especially from a value investment standpoint, I know investing in comics is really big right now, but I just really recommend you guys go for what you want versus chasing the dollar. When I was a kid, I collected baseball cards, and everyone was investing, and the market fell through in that. I also was a comic book collector in the 80s. And, a lot of the 80s comics were worth a lot at one point, and they're not worth as much now. Pretty much everything I've ever bought in my life that I didn't go for an investment was things that were actually worth money. For example, I've had Star Wars figures. They're worth a decent amount that I sold. I used to play a lot of Magic the Gathering, and I've sold a ton of those cards for a ton of money. As comic books go, when I got out of college, I bought a run of comics from 94 to 330 of the X-Men, simply because I love the X-Men. And I got that whole entire run for, I believe, $350. And that's been the biggest growth of money value of anything that I have. And that's one of my favorites as well, is the X-Men. So I really recommend collecting what you like. If you're getting older stuff, obviously getting the graded comics is a way to go because they're much easier to sell down the road. But this is the first appearance of some of my favorite characters. I really like Raven, Cyborg, and Starfire. Plus my kids are really big fans of the Teen Titans, so we watch the Teen Titans shows all the time. We watch Young Justice, so it's pretty neat to see them get excited about some of the stuff I have as well. Here's Tales of the Teen Titans number 44. It's signed by George Perez, graded 9.6. I've had this one for a while. It's the first appearance of Nightwing, as well as first appearance of Jericho. Then this is one of my favorite books that I own in my collection. It's Doom Patrol 99. It's the first appearance of my favorite character as part of the Teen Titans Young Justice and being Beast Boy. Just a really pretty cover. I love the blue on here. And like I said, Beast Boy is one of my favorite characters. He's also one of kids' favorite characters as well, so they really like that book in my collection. And I've had this for a pretty long time. I wish it was higher grade. It's only 9.4, plus the new Teen Titans #2, first appearance of Deathstroke, and you know, it's a great character, really gone up in value over the years. So one of my favorites. I'll eventually show a lot of my X-Men. I've always been trying to complete a run from the beginning to like the 330s where I have the straight books through, but I don't have a lot of the lower ones that are pretty high value. I'm not worried about getting the reprints, but I think there's about 20 some books that I still don't have, but they're all the lower issues, which are all pretty high value. I mean, I have, I think, a 3 and a 6, but they're all really beat up, which it'd be nice to get some nicer grades. I'd love to get an X-Men #1 someday, but the prices are so high, I doubt that I will ever get that in my collection. So I'll have some more hauls going for you. I'm going to try to keep these videos under 10 minutes. You know, I'd rather have a lot of them up there than talk too long. But like I said, once I do some hauls, get those caught up, I'll also start going through my collection, maybe do some of my top comics and stuff like that. So, thanks a lot.